And hello, everybody. I'm Dan Lutz, and welcome to the Frontlines. In the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminonkeys, and all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons, we're here on very interesting times, right? We can see that no matter which way you look, we've got a lot of news breaking. It's the avalanche. It's the D5. It is all happening. Is it the 10 days of darkness? I don't think so. Although I hear many people saying that. It started right with 10-2, and Trump announcing that he was had the Rona. He had the Rona, and so did Melania. Well, they both had the Rona, and then Kellyanne Conway also had the Rona, and then off to the hospital and so on. But is he actually at the hospital? Is he on Air Force One? Oh, we'll get into that and some more hot topic moments. Also, I just finished getting off of an affidavit class with the California Assembly. I will be posting that right after I do this one. I'll just upload it. Otherwise, it would be a conflict of bandwidth. I didn't want to try uploading while I'm broadcasting. But excellent information there where you're learning how to do affidavits, which is a personal representation of what you see as the truth. So if you see that the ones that gave an oath of office to support the Constitution not doing that, which means they're violating your rights, you put them on notice by giving an affidavit in which you can also attach damages along the way. And that process leads us to where we're putting these officials on notice. No, you just can't get away with anything you want and ignore the Constitution and just ride roughshod over all the people. No, can't do it. So get involved in the assemblies. Contact the website for the Life Force and get the app on the App Store or Play Store, LifeForce.watch. Life Force Watch, not .watch. Sorry about that. And then you can go ahead and join one of the assemblies and the groups there. I am in the California Assembly, and I also now just getting into the San Diego Assembly. So you have the state assemblies and you have the county assemblies. That's where we're at, and we're organizing, and we're moving forward, and we're sending out affidavits, and got to get active, got to do it, got to run. This is the time. Like no time what's ever been in the past, this is the time. For all of the patriots out there, all of the people that when you're trying to get say you're violating our rights and banging against a hard wall. Now there's cracks in that wall over the place, and we're going to be going through, and we're going to be claiming our rights and saying, no, you cannot just ride roughshod over us and just do whatever you want. Okay, that being said, the housekeeping. I bring this. This program is brought to you by your donations to me. Thank you very much. I received $50 donation yesterday. I appreciate that very much. Small donations, medium, large, whatever size donation, it just shows you care. It helps, really. Small amounts help just as well as big amounts. Do whatever you can, and it does help me. At this age of the Rona, the worldwide lockdown, it's interesting where I'm at. But it's amazing, too, to show the generosity of the people that have helped me so far. It is amazing. Also, the Life Force link is also down below if you'd like to give a contribution to them. You're welcome to do that as well. Okay, what's next? Yeah, so much more. So yesterday, what were we looking at? We were looking at the future proofs past. And we kind of went from post number 88, taking what we look at is the 17 NES postings given. Let's say Trump gives a tweet. If we look at capital letters, we've learned in the comms that if you take those letters and turn them into capital letters, turn them into a post number, you can go back and the previous posts from years past and see what it says. And typically it has something to do with what is actually going on right now. The future, which is now, proving what was said in the past. So we were counting down from 88, post number 88, and we got to November 2nd of 2017, right down to November 1st. We stopped right there at November 1st. So we're going to go back and continue the countdown. So we went from about post 88 down to 31, I think. So we're going to continue from there to do our countdown. But before we get into that, we've got a new tweet to look at a future proof's past and see how it applies to now. It's so interesting how these things are coming about. So let me just line this up. So far, say hello to everyone. We've got E there, whoever E is. Hello, E. And Hyperdrive and Rick. Hello, all you three. They've made comments, and we've got 17 viewers and all 20 viewers, and rising as we go. So first, let me bring up before we get into the post, I'll ultimately bring up this. This is Trump giving a little bit of a pep talk to us.
I want to begin by thanking all of the incredible medical professionals, the doctors, the nurses, everybody at Walter Reed Medical Center. I think it's the finest in the world for the incredible job they've been doing. I came here, wasn't feeling so well. I feel much better now. We're working hard to get me all the way back. I have to be back because we still have to make America great again. We've done an awfully good job of that, but we still have steps to go, and we have to finish that job. And I'll be back. I think I'll be back soon. And I look forward to finishing up the campaign the way it was started and the way we've been doing, the kind of numbers that we've been doing. We've been so proud of it. But this was something that happened, and it's happened to millions of people all over the world, and I'm fighting for them, not just in the U.S. I'm fighting for them all over the world. We're going to beat this coronavirus, or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to beat it soundly. So many things have happened. If you look at the therapeutics, which I'm taking right now, some of them, and others are coming out soon that are looking like, frankly, they're miracles. If you want to know the truth, they're miracles. People criticize me when I say that, but we have things happening that look like they're miracles coming down from God. So I just want to tell you that I'm starting to feel good. You don't know over the next period of a few days. I guess that's the real test. So we'll be seeing what happens over those next couple of days. I just want to be so thankful for all of the support I've seen, whether it's on television or reading about it. I most of all appreciate what's been said by the American people, by almost a bipartisan consensus of American people. It's a beautiful thing to see, and I very much appreciate it, and I won't forget it. I promise you that. I also want to thank the leaders of the world for their condolences, and they know what we're going through. They know what, as your leader, what I have to go through. But I had no choice because I just didn't want to stay in the White House. I was given that alternative. Stay in the White House, lock yourself in, don't ever leave, don't even go to the Oval Office. Just stay upstairs and enjoy it. Don't see people, don't talk to people, and just be done with it. And I can't do that. I had to be out front, and this is America. This is the United States. This is the greatest country in the world. This is the most powerful country in the world. I can't be locked up in a room upstairs and totally safe and just say, hey, whatever happens, happens. I can't do that. We have to confront problems. As a leader, you have to confront problems. There's never been a great leader that would have done that. So that's where it is. I'm doing well. I want to thank everybody. Our First Lady is doing very well. Melania asked me to say something as to the respect that she has for our country, the love that she has for our country. And we're both doing well. Melania is really handling it very nicely. As you've probably read, she's slightly younger than me, just a little tiny bit. And therefore, just we know the disease, we know the situation with age versus younger people. And Melania is handling it statistically like it's supposed to be handled. And that makes me very happy, and it makes the country very happy. But I'm also doing well, and I think we're going to have a very good result. Again, over the next few days, we're going to probably know for sure. So I just want to thank everybody out there, everybody, all over the world, specifically the United States. The outpouring of love has been incredible. I will never forget. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I want to just point out an interesting thing that he was said. He was talking about the treatments, right? He's on remdesivir, and also he's on a artificial antibody cocktail, I guess, or something like that. He's on, so he's on two different ones. So hitting it left and right. So my theory yesterday, we were discussing that it might be. I saw it as a way of like torpedoing remdesivir, because remdesivir only had like 30% effectiveness in the clinical trials that Anthony Fauci was in charge of, and plus was, it's his drug, right? He has a patent on remdesivir. So, there's a little conflict of interest, him pushing remdesivir, right? A $3,000 treatment, $3,000 for this with only, 30%, effectiveness. But during the trial, in his own trial, he had to change the format of the actual clinical trial during the clinical trial, because his results were too low. He was getting like 8% effectiveness. So he changed how the trial was being executed during the trial. You can't do that. That's not the way you do science. I don't like these results. Let me change it. No. So that's why I thought that Trump there was going to torpedo remdesivir, and that's why he's on. Since he's on a second one as well, it kind of mutes that point. But anyway, we'll see. It was just an idea. I'm just projecting what might be. Okay. That being said, let's go to Trump's post here. Okay, so this was his post at 1:46 a.m. on October 1st. So our great USA wants and needs stimulus. Work together and get it done. Thank you. Okay. So usually if things are in all caps, we got to take some notice, right? What does that mean? So there's a comma here we got to kind of decipher. So let's say that we did a little search on a phrase, because it pops up. People kind of like pick up on things as we go. And let's look here on post number 854 from March 6th of 2018. It says, if you notice here, we must work together. My highlighting's not working. Sorry, it's this page is too big. I've got too much loaded in, so it's very slow to maneuver around. But we must work together, it says. But see, the we and together, is what we have to kind of focus on, right? We together. We must work together. So work together, all caps. We together. Oh, sorry, clicked on the wrong one. All right, so let's say that if we look at this and we try and say, okay, he's talking about working together, and we together. And so together is in this one. So what is there something to be said? So we'll just take a look. Is the stage set for a drop of the HRC plus 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 space plus space plus 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 and then the raw video 5x5, right? And this is the video. So is this the Hillary where she's cutting off the face of a young girl? I think so. We have it all. R.E. read, okay, the stage. So is the stage right now, are we looking at the stage? Is everything set now to take down HRC? I would say that's true. The nail in many coffins, liberal undo. Can you see it? Can you see the stage is set to actually undo all of the liberal stage? Everything that is the leftist, Marxist, communist, Democrat party is all set to be undone. Impossible to defend. They can't defend against this. All right? So let's stop here for a moment. This is an important point. Always they come up with a deflection. Look at Joe Biden in his debate. It was a deflect, or he was say, well, if I can't answer that question because that will be the topic everyone's talking about. Well, why would you accept that as a moderator as a way to answer the question? That's not an answer, right? It's a deflection. So this is part of what they do. They always deflect. They always basically talk about something else, or they basically use name calling. Racist, misogynist, orange man bad. So if we're talking about pedivores eating children, can they defend against this? No. You're talking to them and they back to you, orange man bad. Orange man bad. Anything you say, you're eating children. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. See, it just doesn't track at all, right? Biden deflecting and saying, dog-faced pony soldier, whatever. You go scratch your head and what, but there's nothing there, right? It's like, how it's a non-answer, nothing. But when you come up with this conversation, eating of the children, they can't defend it. They can't. So their whole apparatus is going down. The whole thing. All of it. All of it. Again, this is not about, say, a traditional Democrat, say the Kennedy Democrats versus, a traditional Republican, Ronald Reagan, for example, which, interestingly, Ronald Reagan was a Democrat turned Republican. He left the party because they were becoming communist, right? And he spoke out against that, right? So this is what we're talking about, is a long-time infiltration of this warped idea of communism, right? The Marxist, Leninist, the communist ideals, right? Which is, the opiates to the masses, not religion, but communism. So this has been the battle, right? But now it's all set up to take their whole thing down. Everything, it's going down the drain, the whole swamp. All right, let's continue here. Impossible to defend. Toxic to those connected. So anyone connected will be also affected. It's toxic. We must work together. We together. We are only strong as your voice. You must organize and be heard. Assemblies. Join the assemblies. This is what we're doing. Organizing to be heard. This is why they keep you divided and in the dark. Okay, again. We are coming together in assemblies. We are not divided, and we are not in the dark. When we are filing these notices, these affidavits, the reaction to the people receiving them is like they go nuts because they're now being called out. The light is on them. They can no longer just skate by and say, well, I won't be held accountable for all of this stuff that I'm doing, right? The people are asleep. No, the people are not asleep. We're not in the dark. You are being informed. Right, let's continue. Okay, you must be organized and be heard. This is why they keep you divided and in the dark, weak. We are here to unite and provide truth. Evil surrounds us. We are fighting for you. Where we go one, we go all. .love is a website. So the choice to know will be yours in the end. Okay. So does this apply? Yes. Is it the exact one, or are we interpreting this correct? Because it used the word all caps letter together, right? We're focused on the word together, all in caps. You know, this is how we read the comms, but does it apply? It does apply, right? Future proofs past. So there are many interpretations. I'll give you another example. Taking all caps letters, throwing them into gematria, and taking that number and spitting it out and putting it and following the post and see if it also applies. Many times that works as well. I'm going to try to get into doing that as well to try and pull up a couple of them, but I ran out of time because I was in the class for the writing of the affidavits. So again, I will post that shortly after this video is up. Okay. So what I'm gonna have to scroll down now. We're gonna leave this behind and go to where we left off, but it's gonna take me a little bit of time to get there because scrolling, I have to load the whole thing into memory so I can scroll through it, and it wants to act a little slow when I'm doing this. So let's see if I can get back down to the bottom of the posts here. Okay. Yeah, all right. I was able to make a big leap there, so that's at 70. Okay, let's keep going down to 31 or so. Yes, it's also very exciting, you know, getting together, working with the people, you know, in the assemblies, so we can start making a difference, right? This is our time. We've got to do it now. There is no other time than now. I've said that many times, and it's important to realize that this is really what we're talking about, moving on these things right now. Okay, here we go. 35. That's where we left off. Okay, or 35? Yeah. It's going. It's jumping around. Let me go. I'll switch over now so you can see. I'm trying to scroll it. It's not moving. Give it some time. Let me close down these other posts. That may help free up some memory. If I have any other memory, oh, maybe this might help. Yes, I have a program running, Open Office. That should free up some things. So it wasn't this bad yesterday. There we go. Now it's moving. Still slow, but moving. I can't wait to get my other computer up and running again. Or I have enough memory, enough processor speed, you know, bigger display. And I can plug in my microphone. Well, okay, here we go. That's where we left off. November 1st, post number 35. Okay. POTUS will be well insulated, protected on Air Force One and abroad, specific locations classified. While these operations are conducted, due to the nature of the entrenchment, it is time to take back our country and to make America great again. Let us salute and pray for the brave men and women in uniform who will undertake this assignment and bring forth peace, unity, and return power to the people. Well, I would say this is really relevant to now, right? November 1st, right? So what are we going to see there just 2 days before the election? The military out there protecting the polling places and distributing vaccines and malaria medicine. Hydro something or other. All right, let's continue. It is our hope that this message reaches enough people to make meaningful impact. We cannot yet telegraph this message through normal methods for reasons I'm sure you can can understand. Follow the questions from the previous threads and remain calm, and primary targets are within DC and remain at the top in both sides, Republican and Democrat. The spillover in the streets will be quickly shut down. Look for more false flags. Stay alert and be vigilant in the above. And above all, please pray. So does this sound like it's from 3 years ago, or does it sound like it's for like right now? November 1st of this year. Let's look at it from that point of view. 3-year delta. All right. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, and whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Love is patient. Love is kind. God bless my fellow Americans. Okay, so then there's this 4/10/20. So would this be October 4th? Is this really the message? Is it really for this day, today, October 4th? Well, it's October 4th for me, probably October 3rd still for many people, but is this for right now? I would say that applies. So we're, again, counting backwards. We're going to 34, but actually counting down to the election, which I think is where the first post is about. So here we go. Still November 1st from 2017, 3-year delta. Okay, so coming up. So 17, Clearance Patriot. My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country and the land of the free, and the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of the shining light. On POTUS order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout, which is slated to occur on November 3rd, upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta, actionable 11/4. So, right, so there's an arrest announcement on Podesta, actionable on 11/4, November 4th, the day after. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will be revealed and will not be openly accepted. So what is going to be revealed, right, is what we were just talking about. We're talking about that video, the raw video that was on Anthony Weiner's laptop, and also what has been known to give hardened police officers, viewing it, cause them to go vomit. That's what we're going to be seeing, right? And it's because of this. So will it be accepted? It will not openly be accepted, right? Because it's Hillary. How is that possible? Right? So it's going to be, all this grief. And we know we have all these stages of grief that the whole society that has to go through it, that is not awakened to this yet, that has been on the other side, on the D side. So we have to be aware that they're not going to accept it, that they'll be in denial. Okay. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of the more senior public officials. On POTUS order, a state of emergency, on POTUS order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition. To prevent extradition and special operators necessary. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided as so many have fallen for our corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast. So I want to point out something here. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided. Now, is he not talking about the future at this point? The reference, and if you're saying this, you're talking about the future. So 3 years from now, right? They're saying it now. When this was posted, remember, this is only the first couple days of posts, right? And this is all coming out. And does this make any sense for it happening on November 3rd of when this came out? On November 1st? It's like a couple days later. Are we talking that this is going to happen? Did it seem like it was really going to happen like that? No, but it did get people's attention, right? But he is talking about the future, just the way this is phrased right here. Okay. So, as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast, we will be initiating the emergency broadcast system, EMS, during this time in an effort to provide a direct message providing the fake news to all the citizens. Organization avoiding the fake news to all the citizens. So organizations and or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Right? So they are organized. We know that that's happening, right? We can see it. Now, 3 years ago, was there any rioting or anything like that? No, but it's now, right? And then we've been told this is not just any 4-year election. Okay. So certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide for our great military and necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad. Well, was that the case back then 3 years ago, or is it only the case now after the emergencies powers were given to Trump? All 50 states declared a status of emergency. The Defense Production Act, the Stafford Act, I think there's one other, that all give him these superpowers. So again, that wasn't happening 3 years ago, 2 years ago, or 1 year ago. It's only happening now. So that's why reading these backwards makes sense. So we'll go to number 32. Still on November 1st. Maybe one day, but it cannot go slow. The initial wave will be fast and meaningful. It will send a signal to the others immediately, and you'll see the tide turn. Not even MSM can hide, and rest assured, some will be jailed as deep cover agents. Wow. Okay. All right. So there's a lot there in this little short one. So, okay, first, the initial wave will be fast and meaningful. So meaningful. That means it's going to be, people of consequence at the top of the chain. So we saw Podesta listed there, right, as one up, and Hillary would obviously be on track for that. So this will send a signal to others, and immediately you'll see the tide turn. Not even MSN can hide the rest, and rest assured some will be jailed as deep cover agents. And that's talking about the media. Some of the media will be jailed. And it's necessary, right? They're all CIA operatives, right? They've all been to the farm. They all grew up in this. They're all family interrelated. So what else is this saying? All right. What else can we derive from this? You'll see the tide turn. We've been waiting for Kim, right, to be able to move forward with on her projects, right, to release the funds from the trust, right, to pull down funds and have it be paid out. And there's been nothing but lies. Pull down the money, let it sit there. And while it's sitting there, are they using it? Yeah, I'm sure there's some way in the back room they somehow get to use it because it's sitting there, right? They're pointing to it. Goes to a trade platform. There's a lot of trade platforms I've been involved with. I saw the what's written up in the contracts is don't touch the money. You just point to it. As long as you can point to it, you can trade on it. I think that's all that's been going on here. And Kim's been playing that game with them, and you know, but you know, when can things change about that? It's when the people stop following orders from the people they used to take orders from. And when does that occur? When the tide changes. This is no normal 4-year election at all. This is the time when everything gets to change. And I think this is when we'll see some significant breakthroughs happen in the weeks after this happens. And Kim will find the people, they're looking at other, this enforcement, right? If she gets the enforcement to go in early, wonderful. Get them to go by what's supposed to be, follow the rules, follow the system as it's set up, and don't just keep stopping it from progressing. So that's why I think it's important. Let's go back and we'll continue on here. Okay, number 31, still November 1st. World stalemate. Again, we're starting right there. World stalemate. Can you say that from 3 years ago there was a world stalemate, or is there one right now? The world is in lockdown. That's a stalemate right there. All right, let's continue. We have the goods on everyone else. That's part of the reason why some things that tie back to foreign heads of state will remain classified. Not all. All right, so there's some foreign heads of state that will remain classified. Let me just go ahead and spill the beans on this one, right? Because we've talked about this. What about the royal family in England? What was signed when Trump got there, and this whatever this deal was that they had all this pomp and circumstance was the deal in place to say protect some of the family members and not dig too deeply in all of them? Maybe there's one sacrifice, that's put out front, the one that's closest to Mr. Jeffrey, right? So I think that's would be what we're talking about there, so the other foreign heads of state will kind of skate by on this, right? But there'll be, certain ones that will be brought about and be talked about. So we'll see. All right, let's keep going here. We are in one of the most critical times of our country. Trump and others are working to balance the where we're doing well for America, for the common person to endorse, while at the same time purifying our government and remove the bad actors who are entrenched. Now, this definitely shows up. Like, has not it been that the government is being looked at even right now, where the congressmen are saying we've been requesting this information, from the State Department all this time, and they don't give it to us. Now we see the CIA, head of the CIA, is currently holding back documents and won't declassify them, right? So it's being brought out that the congressman should have this information, but the government, the deep state, is protecting itself. This bureaucracy this infrastructure is protecting itself. It says it runs the world. It says it runs the government. It says that their way is the correct way. It's their mindset. Doesn't matter that there's a new president, It's kind of like this. We'll use a fast food restaurant. I like to use them, right? Because it's very general, right? So you've got a new corporate head of whatever. We'll pick the Earl of Burgers. All right, the Earl of Burgers is a new corporate head. They have 1 million franchises. You got many territories, and certain territory used to be doing things a certain way, but the new head of the Earl of Hamburgers comes in and says, "We're now doing it. We're going to use only kangaroo meat, right? Right? We're only going to use kangaroo meat. We're not using any beef whatsoever anymore. We're only using kangaroo meat." Now, this will cause a lot of problems within the organization, right? You've got marketing throwing up their hands. You've got all of the different heads of others, and well, I'm only dealing with beef, right? And the beef suppliers are all like up in arms, and they'll say, "Listen, we'll call it kangaroo. We'll slip it in," and they all start to conspire against the head, right? The new guy in charge. But guess what happens? Over a 3-4 year period, all these guys were routed out. A lot of them got fired, and slowly over time, eventually, they get replaced because they thought that what they were doing was correct. They had a lot of supporters, right? A lot of people don't like kangaroo meat. So whatever. But this is what has been happening. The State Department, the government apparatus, the deep state resisted the new CEO. And a CEO who's made a practice out of saying, "You're fired." A lot of poetic justice in this, right? All right, let's continue here. Okay, so to remove the bad actors who will be entrenched. There's so much stirring, pulling, and blackmail that we need to cut through these off to be truly gain power granted to us by the patriots and hardworking people of the great country. So again, all of the blackmail, a lot of the people have been blackmailed to do what the heads of the deep state have been telling them to do. So we can see, again, this is applying to what's happening today, not what's happening 3 years ago. I mean, it was, but now you can see it, right? You're awake to it. All right, let's go again. Still November 1st, post number 30. Would you believe a device was placed somewhere in the White House that could actually cause harm to anyone in the room and would essentially be undetected? Fantasy, right? When Trump was elected, you can't possibly imagine the steps taken prior to losing power to ensure future safety and control. When it was reported to Trump Jr. dropped his SS detail. So that's interesting. Why would he take that huge risk, given what we know? I can hint and point, but cannot give too many high classified data points. These key words and questions are framed to reduce the sniffer programs that continually absorb and analyze data and then push to Z terminals for evaluation. Think XKey SC on steroids. Okay, so there was some kind of device. Now, this is not really pertaining to what was happening right now, right? This is really something pertaining to what was happening back then when Trump first came into office. If you remember, there was a major remodeling going on before Obama left. Well, let's change the curtains before Trump gets here, right? No, they had major remodeling. So could they have actually done something to create, let's say a bad radiation effect, inside the room? Something like that, possibly. I can imagine all sorts of things. Anyway, let's continue. Still on November 1st, number 29. Some things must remain classified to the very end. North Korea is not being run by Kim. He's an actor in the play. Who is the director? Obama. The truth would sound so outrageous, most Americans would riot, revolt, reject, etc. Yeah, can you imagine if they found out it was Obama actually the one in control there? All right, the pedo networks are being dismantled. And actually, just so you know, I'm not certain that it's Obama. It could be, Bush Jr. for all I know, right? It could be it could have been, one of the royal family. I don't know who it is, but, certain other posts let me think that it might be Obama. Okay. The pedo networks are being dismantled. The child abductions for satanic rituals, Haiti and other third world countries, are paused, not terminated until players are in custody. So basically, they still left the doors open so that they can lay traps for these people so they can get in the door. We pray every single day for God's guidance and direction as we are truly up against pure evil. So amazing, right? We're in this at this extent to really know what the stakes actually are. All right, let's keep going here. The 28th post on still November 1st. Anonymous is posting something, a spying pic there, little dark hat covered individual. All right, we must be completed to engage military intelligence over other three-letter agencies. During the 50s and 60s, federal troops, federalized National Guard forces, accompanied by military intelligence personnel, were deployed to help integrate southern schools and to help deal with civil disorder in Detroit in 1967 and other cities following year. After assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., throughout this period, military intelligence units also continued to collect data on Americans at home who were suspect of involvement in the subversive activities. In the late 60s, the Pentagon compiled personal information on more than 100,000 politically active Americans in an effort to quell civil rights and anti-Vietnam War demonstrations and to discredit protesters. The Army used 1,500 plainclothes agents to watch demonstrators, infiltrate organizations, and spread disinformation. According to one report, the Army had at least one observer in every demonstration of more than 20 people. The Army's activities were summed up by Senator Sam Ervin. Eventually, for the purpose of predicting and preventing civil disturbances which might develop beyond the control of the state or local officials, Army agents were sent throughout the country to keep surveillance over the way the civilian population expressed their sentiment about government policies. In churches, on campuses, in classrooms, and public meetings, they took notes, tape recorded, photographed people who dissented in thought, word, and deed. This included clergy, anyone who sympathized with the dissenters. And there's a link there. And he says, ha ha ha, Trump has the military intelligence infiltrate Antifa and all its descendants in local government. Always 5 steps ahead. Please be true. And then 17 gave this post, so it looks like, well done. Picture being painted. So again, from back then, it's talking about the following of these individuals was being done. So they must have collected a lot of detail over the last 3 years. All right, let's continue. Post number 26, still on November 1st. Think about it logically. The only way is the military. fully controlled, safe and spread. Once 11.3 verifies the first marker, biggest advanced drop on poll. What is that? On poll. On the vote, maybe? On the polling? Biggest advanced drop on the poll. Not sure. But yeah, that is the way. Once verified on 11.3. So we're talking about the election results, right? There we go. Trump's in the lead. It's a go. Now, of course, everyone's going to basically, be censored from saying that. Or will they be? Okay, let's continue. Number 25, still on November 1st. Follow up to the last post. Return to comments, R.E. Pelosi and John No Name McCain. Some of us refuse to say his last name for a reason. This all has meaning. Everything stated. Big picture stuff. Few positions allow for this direct knowledge. Okay. Proof begin 11.3. So this is when we're going to be seeing the proof. It's going to happen on election day. So what a better time, right? Everyone's going to the polls, and maybe they give out vaccines, they give out malaria medicine, and they give out also proof of what's been doing. Here's a CD to go along with this, or thumb drive. How about that? We all sincerely appreciate the work you do. Keep up the good fight and follow information is vital. God bless. All right, next. Still on November 1st, the post number 24. Any person making statements that they will not be seeking re-election was put in submission. So basically, they were basically told not to. You submit, right? So they're not going to run for re-election. For the betterment of the country, not all will be prosecuted, and all will do as told. So they're going to step down, and they're just going to fade into the background for whatever that nuanced reason is. All right, you will see more of this occur, not normal yet disregarded, and even on the D side. So you'll have Democrats also, recognizing that they're stepping down. All right, let's go to the next one, 23, still on November 1st. Note, military intelligence has same SAPs as NSA and CIA, etc. What is SAPs? As designated post 9/11. Why is this relevant? Who can be held hostage and controlled? People that are blackmailed. CIA thinks its foreign offshore assets are strong enough to defend against U.S. executive, not accounting for military use on domestic soil. Why does the Constitution explicitly grant this authority to the president, and what is it to prevent? It's to prevent insurrection and invasion. They knew our agencies would grow in power so much so that they could and can hold the executive hostage or engage with bad actors. Trump nominated someone new to direct every agency but one. He controls the top. So that's also all relative to now. All right, so the 22nd, I'm sorry, then the post number 22, still November the 1st. Who controls the NG? What is the NG? Why was the NG recently activated in select cities within the U.S.? Can the NG work in coordination with Marines? Oh, National Guard. There we go. Who controls the National Guard? Why was the National Guard recently activated in select cities within the U.S.? Can the National Guard work in coordination with the Marines? Yes, it can. Do conditions need to be satisfied to authorize? Yes, and those conditions did not happen until the Rona happened. So again, future proves past. So this is all about now. That's why this is all about this election. That's all this is about. All of these posts, everything was about getting the people awake so that they can do what's necessary starting at the beginning of this election cycle and in the new bringing Trump in for the second term. What former president used the military to save the republic, and what occurred exactly? Well, that will be Abraham Lincoln in a civil war. All right. Biggest drop to ever be provided on poll. Again, poll. Study and prepare. The masses tend to panic in such situations. No war, no civil unrest. Clean and swift. So this is what we really are thankful for, right? No war, no civil unrest, clean and swift. That's wonderful. So because they're going to handle things quickly. Doesn't matter what they're planning for, right? They think they can plan their way out of a paper bag, and we know they can't. Okay, just think, Nancy Pelosi's plans, how well are they all being executed? All right, the 21st post, still on November 1st. I've dumped some crumbs like this over the weekend, which started the intense shilling at the point where we are far enough along for you to get and paint a picture without risk of jeopardizing the operation. So up to this point, remember, this is the first 20 posts, right? So this is the 21st post. He's saying, I painted you a picture, right, without jeopardizing the operation. So that's in the first day, so the first week. Let's go now to post number 20, still on November 1st. Who did POTUS meet yesterday? Was AG Sessions there? How many military generals were on the White House list? Who attended a separate meeting? Could those meetings have been combined? Why were certain rooms in the White House renovated? Remember I was talking about the renovations, right? There was a meeting on Monday. Why aren't phones allowed in this room? One of many. What firm was contacted to conduct the renovations? I wonder if it was Trump related. Maybe because he does construction. Yeah, I don't know the answer to this. All right, let's go to number 19. Still November 1st. Why do these want to control the black population? Why do they intentionally keep poor and in need? Why do these project racism on a daily basis against ours? Why do blacks elect officials to do crazy talk on behalf of D's? How do D's cover the historical facts of the forming of the Confederacy, the KKK, and oppose all things pro-black RE legislation? What happens if D's lose the slave grip on the black population? Why do D's, through the funding of the CIA, pop up and install Hollywood media assets? Does this fall within the Operations Mockingbird? What were the historical advantages D's gained on having MSM and famous people peddling narrative? Who exposed the pedo network within Hollywood? Who can't address the above, but will laugh once disclose details? The network. So again, thinking all the way back then, what are they talking about? The pedo stuff, right? It's all they tied this in from the very beginning. The network which controls this false narrative, which turns and keeps the black population under control, is being dismantled. False local national black leaders will be exposed next as shills for the Democratic Party. Follow the money. So Maxine Waters has a $4 million home and cash assets in excess of $6 million. How is that possible? One example. All of these questions help to paint a full picture. Okay, still on November 1st, post number 18. Why did Mueller meet POTUS one day prior to the FBI announcement if Mueller could not be offered director due to previous term limits rule? Well, I think he was called in and he made a deal with Trump at that point. He was caught between a rock and a hard place. If you think that he's not been put into a position of being blackmailed, and what did he look like when he came up on his testimony? He looked like he was losing it, right? Going senile. He was not aware of anything. He didn't. So he's playing dumb, right? So this is his way out. So I think that's he was put under reverse blackmail here. Okay, why did Pelosi begging for a new special counsel? What is Pelosi's net worth? How was this obtained given a salary as a career official? Why is Pelosi's memory going? Same as Joe's, right? Why could it protect against prosecution? How so? What if John No Name McCain surgery was fake? Why would this occur? Basically, because he was tried for treason and put to death on Dog Day. It's where they announced it ahead of time. In here, the Post basically said 1 year delta on that. That was actually the first big proof of the 1 year delta. Future proves back was John McCain. Why could this prevent potentially? What is the Mayo Clinic? What is the Mayo Clinic? Who sits on the board there? I believe it's Bush's, actually. All right. More gets revealed. Okay. So, now we get out of November. We're back to October 31st. Halloween, one of the big holidays for the satanic worshipers, right? It's also one of my favorite holidays, but not for that reason. Why does Obama travel in advance of POTUS to foreign locations? Why is this relevant? Focus on the power of POTUS as it relates to the Marines. How can military intelligence be applied to prosecute bad actors and avoid corrupt agencies and judges? Biggest drop on Paul. Again, we keep doing this. What is this Paul? If someone knows, please put it in the chat room there. Above is the reason why the shills are sliding. In case you didn't know, shills long and send new info back to the ASF for instruction. They use 5-prong pre-packaged injection. One post auto generates 4 more at random designated times. Common drive of posts that they tap into. Since they misjudge the influence of the MSM, they are aggressively looking to censor through major platforms and engage for CIA slush funds for WW worldwide access for expansion of said networks. Everything they do has been forecasted and prepared for. So that's actually a very good statement to keep in mind. Everything they have done has been forecasted and prepared for. So when they're talking about up here is how they're actually, how they say this, they use a 5-prong pre-packaged injection. One post auto-generates 4 more random designated times. So what are they talking about? Posting information, right? This is how they create a narrative. They say we're going to start at this point, and here's the starting point, and then there's 4 more that go out, and it's all automated, right? That's why they just follow the rules. All right, so let's move on here. So post number 16, October 31st. Get the popcorn. So again, let's think that this is October 31st of this year, right? Get the popcorn. Friday and Saturday will be delivered on the MAGA promise. Well, that's interesting. Friday and Saturday. Let me look at the calendar for this coming Friday and Saturday of October 31st. Okay, you're not going to see this, but so the 31st is a Saturday. and November 1st is a Sunday. This coming. Okay. So get the popcorn Friday and Saturday to deliver on MAGA promise. Okay. POTUS knows he must clean house government in order to free up and demonstrate who has authority in order to pass important legislation. So everything we've been waiting for Trump to do, he couldn't do on the major legislation until after he has complete control. Drain the swamp. This was always the priority. Remember, AG Sessions cannot look like an impartial player that is out to get all former Obama team members, as we need him for other important work. All will come into focus, and for anyone who thinks POTUS will not be in control is kidding themselves. Also, he's 100% insulated with zero risk of impeachment. Fact. Right? So yeah, what was the impeachment? They went through it and it was stupid, right? It was impossible for them to impeach him over the phone call, the perfect phone call, right? That's why they're running in circles with their head cut off. All right, let's go to post number 15, also on October 31st. There are more good people than bad. The wizards and warlocks inside terminology will not allow another satanic evil POS control of our country. Realize Soros, Clinton's, Obama, Putin, etc. are all controlled by three families. The fourth was removed post-Trump victory. Okay, so who was removed after Trump won? Interesting. So three families, there was a fourth. So we know Rothschilds, we know the Saudis, we know their Saud. So who else? So the Saudis controlled Obama for certain, right? And the Clintons are controlled by Rockefellers and Rothschild. But the fourth was removed post Trump's victory. So who died? Rockefeller died after Trump won. Interesting. See, reading this in this direction backwards is very revealing. All right. So again, here we go with this. 11-3, Podesta indicted. 11-6, Huma indicted. So there we go. So we're looking. November 6th, we'll see Huma indicted. So when is this video going to be coming out? This is what's going to be shown. And who else? And if Huma gets indicted, who's in the video with her? Hillary. She already in custody by this time? Who knows? We'll see. Manafort was placed into Trump's camp as well as others. The corruption that will come out so that it's serious, the deals must be cut for people to walk away. Otherwise, 70% of the elected politicians would be in jail. You see, so he says 70%. So that's a good number. It's a very good number. So that's actually coincides with what was said to me by a friend of mine who was a congressman, a Republican congressman. And I asked him, when he got there, I said, how much are there? How many people, how many politicians are there for the people? He said 25%, right? Which is close enough to this. So that'd be 75% are not there for that. So 70% are elected would be in jail. You're seeing it has already begun. A deep cleaning is occurring, and the prevention of the defense of pure evil is occurring on a daily basis. They never thought they were going to lose control of the presidency. Not just D's. So it's Republicans also, right? And they thought that they had control since making past mistakes, JFK and Reagan, right? So they assassination attempts at both these times, right? For Reagan and JFK. JFK was successful. Godspeed, patriots. P.S. Soros is targeted. Yes. All right, let's keep going. Okay, post number 14, October 31st still. So we have this famous Patriots photo. Now, what we didn't realize at this time is this boat that they're in is a Durham boat. That's the name of the boat. It's also the name of the prosecutor that's going after them. So, which you only learned about this year. So, skiff with an F in brackets, I guess that's foreigners. So, military intelligence. What is state secrets and how upheld in the SC, Supreme Court? What must be completed to engage military intelligence over the other three-letter agency? Those are those emergencies, right? The Emergency Production, the Defense Production Act, the 50 states declaring emergencies, Stafford Act. So these are the things that had occurred, right? It wasn't happening back then, but it happened because of the Rona, right? What must occur to allow for the civilian trials? Why is this relevant? What must happen for the civilian trials is the insurrection. That's the Insurrection Act must be called up. So why is this relevant? What was Flynn's background? Right, here's Flynn again. He's still waiting to get freed, and that will be soon. So why is this relevant? Now, why did ADM and then NSA meet Trump privately? Admiral Rogers. Why did Admiral Rogers, NSA, meet Trump privately without authorization? Because he was basically telling him that Trump was being spied upon. So that was why, and that's why he was fired. Does POTUS know where the bodies are buried? No, but Michael Flynn does. Does POTUS have the goods on most bad actors? Yes, I'd say so. Or maybe it's Flynn that does at this point. Maybe it's all about Flynn. Was Trump asked to run for president? Yes. Why? And by who? I wonder if it was Flynn that asked Trump to run for president, or was it Admiral Rogers? Maybe it was Admiral Rogers. Was HRC next in line? Was the election supposed to be rigged? Yes, it was. Did good people prevent the rigging? Yes, that happened. Why did POTUS form a panel to investigate? Has POTUS ever made a statement that did not come from proven true or fact? Can we say that now for 3 years of this? Yes. 4 years of this, really. What is POTUS in control of? Well, the military. What is the one organization that isn't corrupt? The military. Why does the military play such a vital role? Why is POTUS surrounded by highly respected generals? Who guards the former presidents? Well, that's the Secret Service. Why is this relevant? Who guards HRC? Well, the Secret Service. Why is Antifa allowed to operate? Well, why do they tie those together in one section, right? Why hasn't the MB been declassified as terrorist organization? The MB. Why hasn't the MB been classified? I don't know what that means. Okay. What happens if Soros-funded operations gets violent, engaging domestic terrorism? What happens? Well, isn't that what is happening right now? What happens if the mayor and police comms and chiefs do not enforce the law? So isn't that what we're talking about now, right? Was that happening 4 years ago? No, it's happening now, or 3 years ago. So what authority does POTUS have, especially over Marines? Well, he controls them. Why is this important? What is the Mueller's background? He's a Marine, so military. Was Trump asked to run for president with assurances made to prevent tampering? Yes. How is POTUS always 5 steps ahead? Who's helping POTUS? Well, that's a good question. Why is he always? Is that the Looking Glass? Is that maybe Project Looking Glass, where he's able to see possible futures? Is this tying in JFK Jr.? I don't know. Interesting to think about. Okay, now we drop a day to October 30th. Okay, we have a poster. Now think that the timing of POTUS travel to China, South Korea. I've said too much. God bless Patriots. Okay, let's keep going. Down to number 12. October 30th still. Military intelligence, reference above, is the absolute biggest inside drop this board will ever receive. Now think about why Antifa plays right into the plan. Always ahead. Good guys are winning. So how many people did they plant inside Antifa? That's what this is telling me. Military planted many people inside Antifa, right, to find out who was in behind the scenes. So. Okay, number 11, on October 29th, key, military intelligence versus FBI, CIA, NSA. No approval or congressional oversight. State secrets upheld under a Supreme Court. Who is the commander-in-chief of the military? That would be Trump. Under what article can the president impose military takeover investigations for the three-letter agencies? What condition must present itself? Why is it so very important? So it's really the Insurrection Act, and what must be present at the time is insurrection. Do we have that now? Yes, it's happening now. Was it happening, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? No. 1 year ago? No. It's now. Who surrounds POTUS? They lost this very important power. The one area of the government not corrupt and directly serves the POTUS. That's the military, especially the Marines. Okay, number 10, October 29th. Remember, the FBI and military intelligence have an open investigation into the Clinton Foundation. Why did Comey drop this? Who was the FBI director during the Haiti crisis? How many kids disappeared? I believe that was Robert Mueller, right? So Robert Mueller was in charge of the FBI during the Haiti crisis. And so what happened with all the money in Haiti, right? So was there any, and whatever else happened to the kids of Haiti and the Clinton Foundation, Mueller, would that provide blackmail material over Mueller? I would say so. How many kids disappeared? How much money sent to Clinton Foundation under disguise of Haiti relief went to Haiti? What country donated big money to Clinton Foundation and why? Saudi Arabia. Just throwing it out there. Might be other country, but I think it's Saudi Arabia. How much was owed by accepting? When she lost, how would this be repaid? How would they repay this if she lost? What did Obama do with the cash just prior to leaving office? Oh, maybe he paid them back. Repayment of those who donated for a favor, access, dig. Again, good people were forced into bed with these evil under personal and family threats. Could you live with yourself helping to cover up such evil, despicable acts, even given a safe way out? These people worship Satan. Some openly show it. Yep, so this is what it's really about. They are worshiping Satan. Right? You don't have to believe it. Right? The people out there that find this hard to swallow, that you don't have to believe that there is Satan. Right? You just have to know that they believe it. Right? Whatever you want to think about it, it's they're taking their action. They're doing these rituals. Whether they see direct impact or they see, a devil or whatever in visions or whatever they see, doesn't matter. It's what they believe. All right, let's move on. Post number 9, October 29th. Projection. These can't lose control over the black population. At some point, the Great Awakening will occur, whereby these false local national black leaders are corrupt and paid off to help keep the black population poor and in need. D's form the Confederate States against the freeing slaves. These formed the KKK. Hillary Rodham Clinton's mentor was Robert Byrd, the Grand Cyclops of the KKK, and also the mentor of Joe Biden as well. What happens if the truth about Haiti is released? Do D's lose a majority of the vote through the looking glass? Here we go again. Through the looking glass, see? Through the looking glass, they rely on the mainstream media to keep the narrative going, but the tech is entrenching on their controls. Okay, so, but big tech, I think they're talking about, is entrenching on their control, so they have to take control of big tech. They missed this in 2016 and desperately attempting to censor now due to the CIA cash infusions. This will fail. Because of what we're doing here, they will fail. Okay, post number 8. Okay. Still October 29th. Huma, all right, husband in jail. I wonder if he's in jail now or if this was from back then. HRC, Muslim Brotherhood, or child. What could you do? Kiss your child goodbye and leave without a mother or father, or for Clinton? Huma, husband in jail, HRC, Muslim Brotherhood, or child. What could you do? Kiss your child goodbye and leave without mother or father or Clinton? For Clinton. So Huma went to Clinton, right? She kissed her child goodbye and left her without a mother or a father, because the husband's in jail. Okay. So where is Huma today? Was she with HRC in her book tour? Military intelligence, state secrets, no FBI. POTUS installed his people within the top spot at each 3-letter agency except one. Good reason there, as Admiral Roger started this and scrubbed all POTUS nominees for verified oath. Do you think they aren't in control of those respective agencies? What is the most valuable? Information? AG sessions on leakers. Fire or prosecute? Reorganize is underway and happening. Coincides state Senate Republicans pushing for federal judge confirmations last week. Why are the Senate Republicans dropping out? Not by choice, and were offered a choice. Rather, rest assured they will vote for pro-Trump. Okay, so they've been blackmailed, reverse blackmailed, right? We know the goods on you. We know what you've been doing. Time for you to bow out. That's what it comes down to. Next, still on October 29th, 7th post. Why wasn't HRC prosecuted for the emails? Put simply, Obama ultimately okayed by using non-government email added to communicate with Clinton. Obama also had an alias along with each of his cabinet members. Therefore, in the HRC would lead to indicting Obama and his cabinet, etc., for which could never happen. Remember, he lied about knowing about the ultimate came out in the dump. Proof. Poof. Yeah, so he'd be busted. So HRC, that email brings them all down. And that's right. And it tells us right on the 7th post. So we're on the 6th post, still October 29th. Some of us here come to drop crumbs, just crumbs. POTUS is 100% insulated. Any discussion suggesting he's even target is false. Follow Huma tomorrow. POTUS will not be addressing the nation on any of these issues as the people begin to be indicted and must remain neutral for the pure optical reasons. To suggest this plan is false and should be common sense. Focus on military intelligence, state secrets, and why might that be used versus any 3-letter agencies. What Supreme Court decision opened the door for a sitting president to activate what must be showed: insurrection. Why is POTUS surrounded by generals again? There is a lot more good people than bad, so have faith. This was a hostile takeover from pure evil, corrupt network of players, not just Democrats. Don't fool yourself thinking Obama, Soros, Rothschilds, Clintons, etc. have more power present day than POTUS. Follow the money. It is key. What is Pelosi's net worth by... It jumped. Follow the money. That is key. What is Pelosi's net worth? By way of one example, why coincidentally is her memory apparently going? Cover for possible future indictment to plead for what? So it's been 4 years of this, and her memory's going. Been going for 4 years, or is she, seem like it's not really going anymore? Maybe a little tipsy, but all right. What if John no name McCain never had surgery, and that was a cover for a future out if against prosecution? Why did Soros transfer his bulk public funds to a nonprofit? Note, this doesn't include massive slush funds that are pooled by several high-ups. Why did Soros' son have several meetings with Canadian Prime Minister, and how is that related to the Clintons? Why is MS-13 a priority? Because they're the hired thugs that they needed. Could pay such gangs to kill opponents, and why and how, and insulate against exposure? The truth is mind-blowing and cannot fully be exposed. These are pure evil. Operation Mockingbird. Okay, next. Post number 5, still October 29th. Follow the money. It's the key. What is Pelosi's net worth by way of one example? Why coincidentally is her memory apparently going? Cover for possible future indictments to plead what? What if John McCain never had surgery and that was a cover-up for future out if needed against prosecution? Why did Soros transfer? So it seems like we're getting a repeat of this information, but we'll keep going with it. What if John McCain never had surgery? What if it was a cover-up for future out if needed against prosecution? Why did Soros transfer the bulk of his funds to a nonprofit? Note, this doesn't include massive slush funds that are pooled by several high-ups. Why did Soros' son have several meetings with the Canadian Prime Minister? How is it was related to the Clintons? Can you rely on being able to board the plane and fly away? Why is MS-13 a priority? Nobody got this. Hired thugs. Could people pay such gangs to kill opponents, and why, and to insulate against exposure? The truth is mind-blowing and cannot fully be exposed. So many are thinking from the point of view, U.S. only. This evil is embedded globally. U.S. is the first domino. Have faith. So that's an important part, right? So this is really about the whole world. Okay, let's go down. Okay, the fourth post, still October 29th. Some of us have come to drop crumbs. Sounds you're starting out the same way. POTUS is 100% insulated. Okay. Suggestions he has targeted is false. POTUS will be addressing the nation on any of these issues as the people begin to be indicted and must remain neutral for pure optical reasons. So this is again, this is what's coming up, right? This is what we're going to see. To suggest that the plan is false, you should use common sense. Focus on military intelligence, state secrets. Why must this be used versus any three-letter agency? Why Supreme Court decision opened the door for the sitting president to be activated? What must be showed? Why is the POTUS surrounded by generals? Again, you are a lot more good people than bad. Have faith. This is the hostile takeover from evil corruption network of the players, not just Democrats. Don't fool yourself into thinking Obama, Soros, Rothschilds, Clinton, etc. have more present-day power than POTUS, Operation Mockingbird, Patriots are in control. Sit back and enjoy the show. And these are pretty close to the same thing, right? They're repeating themselves, but it's okay. We're almost to the end. We're on the third. We only have 3 to go. So October 29th, open your eyes. It finally came out that Rod/Bob were key players in the uranium scandal. Don't think POTUS would be tweeting about giving clear conflict. Why did POTUS meet with Bob Mueller under the cover of FBI Director interview? Bob is unable to serve as prior per the law. He can't serve as director prior because of the law. As he's already served his terms, he can't do it again. Gowdy commented on Comey's history. POTUS has everything. Not everyone is corrupt. Fewer than you think. Follow Huma, Operation Mockingbird. Priority to clean out the bad actors to unite the people behind the America First agenda. Many in our government worship Satan. Not about Republican versus Democrat at this stage. Where is HRC? Why is National Guard called up across 12 cities? So that's interesting. We'll see if it's called up across 12 cities. Trust your president. God bless patriots. Okay, we're getting into the last 2. This is the 28th of October. Mockingbird, HRC detained. Not arrested yet. October 28th. HRC detained. Where's Huma? Follow Huma. This has nothing to do with Russia yet. Why does POTUS surround himself with generals? What is military intelligence? Why go around the 3-letter agencies? What Supreme Court case allows us to use the military versus congressional assembled and approved agencies? Who has ultimate authority over the branches of military without approval of and conditions unless 90% plus in wartime conditions? So the emergencies put us in wartime conditions. So we're in that condition. What is the military code? Where is AW being held? Why? AW. What is AW? Where is AW? I don't know what AW is. POTUS will not go to the TV and address the nation. POTUS must isolate themselves to prevent negative optics. POTUS knew removing criminal rogue elements as the first step was essential for free and passed legislation. Who has access to everything classified? Do you believe HRC, Soros, Obama, etc. have more power than Trump? It's fantasy. Whoever controls the office of president controls this great land. They never believed for a moment that Democrats and Republicans would lose control. This is not Republican versus Democrat battle. Why does Soros donate his money recently? Why would this place all the funds in RC? Why would he place all his fund in a RC? Don't know what that is. Mockingbird, 10/30/17. 10/30/17. Mockingbird, 10/30/17. So this is you see October 30th of 2017. Maybe that's what they're talking about. God bless patriots. All right, and then the first post from the famous poster of 17 NES. So October 28th. Now, just keep in mind that it could be timestamps in where I'm at might be ahead, so it might be a little different. I've heard October 27th is the first post, but anyway. So commenting on someone else, right? So this is the first post. Some anonymous guy posted, Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday morning, October 30th, 2017. Okay. And here's the post. HRC extradition already in motion, effective yesterday with several countries in case of cross-border run. Passport approved to be flagged effective October 30th at 12:01 a.m. Expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing to the U.S. to occur. U.S. Marshals will conduct operations while National Guard activated. Proof check. Locate National Guard member and ask if they're activated for duty on October 30th across most major cities. Well, there we go. That did it. We made it through to the beginning of the posts. And I think you can see that it is really about what's happening over the next 30 days, right, leading up to the election. That what was painted back then was all in preparation for right now, for this election cycle. And we have some dates there to go by. And will these come about? I bet we're going to be right on the money. I think that these dates will bear out. I think we'll see this unfold because it was really about preparing. It said so. It said so. Preparing for a complete draining of the swamp. Democrats and Republicans. This is why I said, if you're a Democrat or independent, join the Republican Party, infiltrate the Republican Party, and let's build that Republican Party. Don't think about whatever you thought of it in the past. Don't think about that at all. That's not what we're doing here, right? You have to abandon the evil, which is now the dividing lines have been drawn. Evil, Democrat side. Good guys, Republican. That's what it's, whatever you think about in the past, let that go. Because that's not what we're talking about, right? Both sides were used to control the people, right? If you have a particular issue, right, that was your brainwashing. Didn't matter what party you were in, you were brainwashed to be opposed to the other side on what you thought was a very important issue. But it has nothing to do with reality. It only was meant to divide you. So if you're in the game of being in with that, the politics of that, join the Republican Party and make a difference. If you want to take another route and go by the assemblies and don't participate in that fiction, in that mess, join the assemblies and then get them to go by their oath of office, right, and make a difference. And then we move forward together and we rise together. We got to come together. Okay. Well, we're an hour and 40 minutes in, so I know this would take some time. I'm sorry for that, but I think it was well worth going through. I hope you did too. I'm gonna check and see if we have any questions before we close down. 65 viewers. Hello, everybody. Let's see. So we've got some hellos and to get her. Yes, to get her. So there's the other ways people are saying that together is to get her, meaning HRC. Okay. I don't understand the shadow presidency concept. Obama traveling ahead of Trump to cities. Well, the reason Obama did that, and either before or after Trump got to another country, was because he's trying to hold up everything that they built. He's trying to hold the line. Trump is knocking everything over left and right, right? And Obama's following behind, or even John Kerry, and then they go in and they say, "Listen, we're getting rid of him, right? We'll go back to the old ways as soon as we get rid of him. Right? We're impeaching him. He's gone. Whatever. Just hold the line. We're making." So that's all that shadow presidency was about, keeping up the old plans, and that's all gone with this election. Everything that they were doing as a shadow presidency and everything, it just falls apart so quickly. There's going to be, all the rats will jump off the ship, right? Because they're going down. And so that's what we look forward to seeing. All right, what else is here? Okay, well, someone also commented about two timelines, two different ones. Well, yeah, let's say I've heard in theory, five timelines with some variations, fluctuating around each of those main timelines, and I've heard as many as 10 timelines or so on. But I think it's more or less about five, and then some variations off of each of those that kind of are sub timelines, less powerful, less likely, but they interweave, right? They're woven together, right, as things go, right? And one takes over, right? And it's kind of one of the things like when 9/11 happened. What we're looking at that time is you've had timelines all converging to one point. It's a form of time manipulation by creating such an event that everybody's attention, where our reality is coming from our consciousness, right? If they get everyone to focus on one event and they paint the picture of the story, and we start all going down that line, then they get to paint the picture of where they're going to make things go, which is the timeline they're trying to focus on, where they had one world order in which they were in control of this, massive, dictatorship. So that didn't happen, right? And from the very beginning, the other timelines, more powerful timelines, were still reverberating and burst out of whatever they tried to bring everything together on, right? That one point. This can also be seen by the Princeton does a study where they have random number generators stationed around the world. It's just a computer located in different places of the planet, and all that it does is generate random numbers. So you can actually then analyze the random numbers, and is there any correlation between random numbers being generated and things that happen on the globe? So 3 days before 9/11 happened, what was happening is that these random number generators started to spit out the same numbers at the same time. And the closer it got to the 9/11 event, all of the random number generators were spitting out the same numbers. Basically, all the timelines, in essence, converging at that point. But as soon as that point was over, they start splitting up again, right? But what immediately happened? You had the 9/11 truthers saying, "Hey, this is an implosion. This is not, it's impossible for the fuel to melt the steel," and so on and so on. And so it was always there, nagging behind the scenes, and then the military behind the scenes figuring out, well, we can't let this go forward. And so everything brought us to this point where we're at, where we win. Okay, so we are on the more powerful timeline, and the one where we're having abundance on the planet for everybody. It's not how that appears and what it looks like, and that is all up to us, right? That's why I'm pushing. Hey, join the assemblies, get involved, join and do something. Just what we're doing right now is affidavits, our personal representation of what we're saying is our truth. We're having it notarized, and we're sending it out to those people who gave oaths of office. It can be on many things, but that's what we're doing right now. So we're doing this in mass. The more people that join, the more people that do this, the greater the impact it has. Okay. All right, I think that's good for today. Thank you all for joining. Again, if you'd like to donate, the PayPal donation link is down below. If you'd like to contact me, my contact information is down below. Preference is the Telegram messaging app. We can also talk. You can call me on it. If there's also an email, some delay in getting to emails, but a few days or so, I'll get back to it. Until tomorrow, I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, please share this video. I think it's pretty important to share this video, as the subscriptions are going up beyond the shadow banning for whatever reason. It's making it through. Please share this one just below the video. Just go down and say share, that little share button, push it just like that, and then share to your Facebook, share to your Twitter, or whatever you want to share to, email, and then pass out this video, and please ask people to subscribe and share and to do the same. Pass it on, tell people to subscribe and share. Okay, and let's keep it rolling. That's the way we roll this out. Let's get the information going. This is information warfare. Until tomorrow, have a wonderful day.